Hey everybody, welcome to ShortSalePowerHour.com. I'm Fred, this is Kevin, and a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago now, we sent out a survey just asking if you guys would be interested in more general real estate information, not necessarily short sale specific. And so we've decided to make a little bit of a change. We're going to use Wednesdays in our episode to talk a little bit more general around business and the real estate industry in general. More business than anything. Yep. Now, short sales are probably going to come up because that's just part of what we do.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that Wednesdays won't ever be about short sales again, but we're gonna start doing some expanding our content a little bit and our wings into a little bit more general stuff. So
I mean. If you don't want to hear it, there's like literally 400 plus videos
about short sales
for short sales.
Yeah, go
back and watch one of them because you haven't mastered it
yet. Yeah. So here's the deal. Monday we talked about talk is cheap.
Yep.
And I figured that we would start maybe at the very beginning of one of the best things that we ever did when you and I started our business. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. And we get asked this question sometimes. People say, well, how is your guys' partnership actually
it's funny.
created?
We get asked that question fairly often. I mean,
yeah.
More than it never even dawns on me that that's important to people.
Well, it is actually.
We continuously get that question.
Yeah, and people want to know, how'd you guys start? How did the agreement originally look? Did you split everything evenly? So I thought today we'd just spend some time just sharing with you a little bit of what we did. It worked, so there's got to be some good things in here. I'm not saying copy it exactly, but it worked, so you might want to follow it. We're heading into year number 5 that we've been in business together next month. And we don't kill each other, and we generally make more money and increase every year, so it works.
Yeah.
So one of the first things I thought of is it actually kind of goes back to our Mindset Monday video of talk is cheap.
Yeah.
You and I both came out of partnerships in 2007 where we felt, not that we didn't like our partners, but we felt to a certain degree that talk was cheap, that they were saying that they were contributing and that they felt in their heart of hearts that they were 50% partners, or in my case, I had several partners, so 33, 33, 33. Yet in the end, we both really felt like we were pulling more of the weight than they were.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah, is that a fair way to say that?
And it literally just so happened we kind of both came out of that around the same time.
Yeah.
And so we were both very cautious. And the first thing we said, now understand we had 11 or 12 listings combined between the two of us at this time. So it's not like we were going, hey, how are we going to
create a business that closes 500 deals?
We had no idea at the time.
Yeah.
We really didn't. We weren't. We just weren't at that place yet. And so, but what we did do is say, hey, let's look at what we have, and because I've already been working on my listings, and you've already been working on your listings, and I've got a buyer or two that I'm working with, and you've got a couple referrals. How did we want to divide that stuff up first? Let's talk about responsibilities and income. Well, we actually wrote that down.
Well, first of all, we said, let's go share an office, because the first thing that we said was, we're not even creating a partnership, what we're creating is something where we could share resources and share expenses.
Yeah.
And so we decided to go split an office and split that expense in half. And then we both had been using my brother actually to work and do some of the part-time legwork and administrative stuff for us, going out to houses. So we said, you know what, let's just split his bill in half. So what we did from the beginning is we said all expenses are going to be split in half. But then coming from other partnerships where talk was cheap, we said, I'm not ready to just give you 50% of the income because I'm bringing this much in and you're bringing this much in, and it's not 50-50.
Right.
So why should we split the income 50-50? But you know what? Since we are helping each other, I think in the interest of just sharing and helping, we shouldn't care whose file it is or who's doing what or whatever the case is.
You work on it the same. The income's just not going to be the same.
Absolutely.
Which kept us both motivated to go out and bring out more and kind of carry our weight, so to speak.
Yeah, so one of the things, just to share with you what we did is we set it up so that all expenses were paid 50-50 between the two of us. We didn't really realize we were creating a partnership, but we were. And then what we did is we did a sliding scale on the income. If you brought the deal in, you got paid X percentage and I got X percentage. If I brought the deal in, I got paid X and you got paid X. And my X was higher if I did the lead generation, your X was higher if you did the lead generation. Yeah. So we incentivized the person that was actually bringing the business to the table, because, as Gary Keller says, there's 6 main ingredients in real estate. You can go watch this on a video somewhere else online. 5 of them essentially, or 4 of them at least, can be outsourced really well. The ones you don't want to outsource are, number 1, bringing the business in the door, and number 2, managing the money.
Yep.
So those 2 things, we said, you know what, bringing the business in the door has a higher value than negotiating the short sale, putting the listing in MLS, blah, 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 blah.
Absolutely. And then we at that point said, hey, what if we bring something because we're working together? And
Yeah.
because we're kind of out there.
Yeah.
How do we split that up?
Yeah, we're going to go teach a free class within 60 days of us working together. We're going to teach a class. Well, what if it creates a referral? What are we going to do? Well, we created it together, therefore
50-50.
we'll split it together.
Yeah.
And what we quickly figured out is that we could create a lot more leads together than we could apart. Yet, all the way up until early 2011, in fact,
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't
we
until-
still incentivized the person who brought the listing in higher than the person who didn't.
Well,
Always split expenses 50-50, but up until early 2011, we were still splitting
and then
it.
here's the deal: it was always in writing, and we made some changes over the years. And every time we made a change, we changed it in writing.
Yep.
And it's not because I don't trust Fred and Fred doesn't trust me, but that's the wise thing to do.
Absolutely.
We both came from a place where it didn't work to just have handshake agreements and to just,
Yeah.
to feel like you were doing the right thing. We wanted to be really clear. It's just like when you have a process in your business, when you have a systematic way of doing things, when something comes into your business, you don't ever have to question how to do it. It goes through that system. And so because we set that up ahead of time, we never questioned anything.
Yeah.
We just went, oh, here it is. Oh, it gets paid like this. Oh, it gets paid like that.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that complicated. We agreed to it. It wasn't very formal. We didn't get lawyers involved. I mean, we just came to an agreement. We signed a piece of paper, and we abided by it. And then we changed it as we wanted to, and then we changed it.
And I think, and we'll spend more time on this, I'm sure, throughout the year, but one of the other things I think that made our partnership really successful and still successful today is we have just enough in common, both personally and professionally, and just enough in common from a behavioral standpoint, yet just enough differences in us that we each have some skill sets the other one doesn't that complement each other. And we can talk more about that later. In fact, I think that'd probably be another good episode. Maybe we do it next Wednesday another time. Talk around partnerships, other people we've seen try to get together and do business together.
Well,
ones that have failed, reasons we think they've failed,
seen a
and
lot
then
of
ones
that.
we've seen that have been successful.
Yeah.
Because more often than not, you'll find failed partnerships than you will successful partnerships. And I think a lot of it has to do with the mindset. A lot of it has to do with how you enter the relationship. A lot of it has to do with, did you leave the door open for one person to just fall into laziness? Even if they weren't lazy when they came in, was the door left open?
Yeah.
Because if you leave the door open, somebody will eventually go there, sooner or later.
Guaranteed.
Consciously or subconsciously.
Guaranteed.
So anyway, I don't know if that was crystal clear or not, but it's a question we get a lot of, and I figured let's address it today. Remember, when you're forming a partnership, talk is cheap. Put it in writing. Don't have it fair, okay? This is not like...
No, we are never concerned with fair.
No.
It's not about life's
It's not about
fair.
50-50 fair. It's about who's putting the effort in, who's creating the business.
And here's the deal: if you have a problem with not being 50-50, I think there's probably an ego there that's stopping you from saying that's okay.
Well, in fact, I think both of you and I, one of the reasons it worked is our mindset was we both felt that we could out-earn the other one, or we both felt that we could go create just as much, if not more, than business. However you want to look at it.
Yeah.
We're competitive enough in
Neither
nature.
one of us were worried that we were going to be without.
And the funny thing is, if you look year over year, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, our income totals are within like $2,000 to $4,000 of each other every year, which is like less than 1 or 2%. Okay.
Even when we had like great discrepancies on the percentages that we were getting
It didn't
paid.
matter. Even when the discrepancies were 70-30 or 80-20 or whatever, and then they came down to 60-40, and then
it's just
it still was there because the other
the
one was
incentive was always there.
Absolutely.
It's for both of us. In fact, it was always a competition. We're like, hey, whose deal was that?
Well, and think about it this way: if you create a partnership where you know you're responsible for 50% of the expenses, do you want the other person to outwork you and out-earn you? I'm gonna go with no.
If you do, then you're in the wrong business.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be paying 50% of the expenses. You sure as heck, that'll cause you to lead generate and figure out how to go find business quickly.
Absolutely.
Anyway, long episode, but I hope you enjoyed it at some level. Just a little insight into what we did to create our business. We'll wrap it up. 1, 2, 3. Short sale power hour! Short sale power hour! Crush it!